From industry news to mobile technology leaks and rumors, we cover tomorrow's tech news today. eSIM Tech News.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kick.
Yo, welcome back, eSIMstudios podcast, live stream, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. We are back on this Tuesday afternoon, June the 17th. Man, this year's flying by. And that's a good thing because July 1st is the launch of the upcoming Nothing Phone 3. I was trying to find an expressive word, but it's a long time coming. Let me double check the audio. You can also tell me in the comments if you can hear me all right. Always got to test this. For some reason, when stuff is wireless, this wireless mic, I never trust it. When stuff is wired and hooked up, I don't ever have to check, but let me just make sure we're good here. Let's see. How is it? Can y'all hear me fine? For some reason, it's telling me it's not live. Are we live? We should be live. You can hear me? It's telling me it's not live. There we go. We're good. Okay. Apologize about that. So, Nothing Phone 3. So, the biggest question mark with this Nothing Phone 3 was the CPU. And this morning, I subscribed to the Nothing YouTube channel. You should subscribe as well. It's actually very nice. It's really nice to have a company. It's why I like Nothing, right? And their approach to making phones. Their YouTube channel gives you an inside look at the company, the employees, Carl Pei, the CEO. They're doing something that these other phone companies are not, right? And that's one of the reasons why I like their products and their company. Their products are nice, refreshing, and their YouTube channel, you get to take a peek inside the company, right? Samsung's not doing this, Apple's not doing this, OnePlus certainly not doing this. There's a lot of phone companies that just put the product out and they need a lot of help on the marketing side. Some of these companies like Apple and Samsung, their products are going to sell, but when you're a smaller company or a less known company such as Nothing or even a OnePlus, right? They need to totally revamp. They have a YouTube channel, but they just use it for promo, right? They need a PR team. They need an active YouTube channel. Another story for another day. But I woke up this morning and what do you know? There's a 40-minute long interview with Carl Pei, the CEO of Nothing, and they discuss a lot of things. They actually reveal quite a bit. Now, I took this 40-minute interview and compressed it down to 6 minutes, right? So we're going to play some of it and discuss what they discussed, right? And we'll go through some of the key points. I edited out all the fluff and just got the key points. They discuss the CPU. They discuss the glyph, well, I guess not the glyph lights, but the questionable dot matrix on the back. They even talk about the leaked image that has been put out there online. Is that the real Nothing Phone 3? Well, you will get that answered. So I guess we could jump right into it. Now, I edited, as I mentioned, this video. I had to throw in some graphics or different editing features, just a little bit. The whole thing's not edited, but I have to throw YouTube off a little bit because technically I am using Nothing's content. I'm just repurposing it, so this should qualify and fall under the Fair Use Act of 1974. So hopefully YouTube doesn't flag me for that, but if so, I can just, it is fair use. We're reviewing the content. So let's, I guess, jump right into it, and then we will jump in to reviewing the CPU that they chose for this Nothing Phone 3 that is coming out on July 1st. And let's go ahead and take a look here. So I got this video. I'm going to start and stop it, pause it, and we can discuss the topics that they discuss, because as I mentioned, they actually reveal quite a bit of this Nothing Phone 3, and boy, it's got me excited. So I actually have a S25 Ultra, that white one that I've had on our YouTube channel. Don't tell anybody. I'm actually going to sell that S25 Ultra and buy the Nothing Phone 3. All right, let's go.
Time to talk about Phone 3, which is, at the time this video goes live, we're probably going to be kind of mid-launch cycle, so there's going to be lots of details out there. So I thought maybe we could cover some of the things we already know, and then maybe I'll try and squeeze some fresh information out of you as well. Does that sound good?
Let's try.
Okay, so I guess the first thing is, about a month ago, you went on the Android show, and out of nowhere, you dropped that Phone 3 is going to cost somewhere in the realm of £800. Now, from that information alone, there are lots of comments. Some people really excited about what device we could offer for that price point. And some people...
It's going to be our first true flagship. It's going to be the best smartphone we've ever made. Everything will be better than its predecessor from a material standpoint, from a performance standpoint, the chipset, the camera, the battery, the screen, all that stuff, plus something really unique. Phone 3 is going to be our first real flagship, so although performance is not everything, we really have to outperform our previous flagship.
Right.
So just compared to the Phone 2, it's going to be 36% faster on the CPU side, 88% stronger on GPU, and 60% stronger on the NPU.
Now, he went through the specs, and we can expect that, right? It's been 2 years since the device has come, since their flagship device, their headliner has been released. So you would expect a big performance increase, right? So I think here is where they announce what CPU it's going to be used. So let's see.
These are all theoretical numbers, but what it means in practice is it's just going to feel a lot snappier. It's been one of the consistent points of feedback, I think. Like, hey, why this? Why this?
Yes.
And why are you using older chip? I mean, we did it from a position of balance. We wanted to create a balanced experience. But this time around, it's still balanced, right? It's just that everything else also got much better, so that we needed a even stronger chip to drive it. Because as you know, the chip is not just about playing games.
Right.
It powers a lot of other things, like the camera ISP as well. So I think we're still very much about creating that balanced experience. But we upgraded so many other parts of the experience as well, so that we needed this chip to really drive it. Our relationship with Qualcomm has also gone from strength to strength and really gotten a lot better. I mean, they were super supportive in the beginning, but now we're working a lot closer together. So that also gives us faster access to chips.
So Nothing actually signed a 3-device deal with Qualcomm, meaning a lot of these companies, Samsung, OnePlus, all these companies, excluding Apple, excluding Google, right? But the companies that source their CPU, this is normal. They'll sign a deal with Qualcomm or MediaTek or whoever to use a certain amount of CPUs, and Nothing actually signed a 3-device deal. And the 3 devices that they're putting Qualcomm CPUs in are the Nothing Phone 3A, Nothing Phone 3A Pro, and the Nothing Phone 3. Where they go after that, who knows? I'm assuming they're going to stick with Qualcomm, but as we mentioned the other day, the prices of the next generation Qualcomm chips are going to get more expensive. So who's to say? You might see Nothing move to MediaTek in the future. And they have used MediaTek for some of their devices. And I actually really liked the MediaTek CPUs that Nothing has used. But that's, again, another story for another day. But their 3-device deal will include this Nothing Phone 3.
That's so good to see. I mean, yeah, I've been daily driving it for a while. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we're always about creating a great product. And for us, a lot of it is about balance. Like, how do you create a really great overall experience? Other companies might choose to focus on spiking the experience, like have a slightly less good phone, but spike it somewhere, like spike it on the camera or make the processor the standout feature. I mean, we're going to use these products for hours every single day. So for us, it's about creating this holistic experience. Like, it shouldn't have any immediate downsides, and everything should be pretty good. So that's kind of how we approached it. If people want just processor, I think there's better, brands to pick from.
Yeah.
If they want just camera, there's probably better products to pick. If they want a really well kind of thought out experience, maybe the Phone 3 will be a great product for them.
So, Carl Pei, I'm not sure, some of the audio cut out, but he did announce they are using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8S Gen 4. 8S Gen 4. Now, if you're new to this channel, I have been saying I believe that's the chip they were going to choose. So, my estimations came out correct. and that's the perfect choice for them to make, right? Because in the past we broke down their different options. We knew it had to be a Qualcomm chip because they had signed a 3-device deal, and the Phone 3 was their third device. So they're not going with MediaTek. They're not going with any other company. And we broke everything down, and we basically fell on the 8S Gen 4. So that's what they're using for the Phone 3. A perfect choice. Now, stay tuned, because once we get through this, we are going to compare the two CPUs, the 8 Elite and the 8S Gen 4. 8S Gen 4 is a flagship CPU. Don't get it twisted. I know you're going to see a bunch of... There's haters everywhere online. Everywhere. And they don't think the same way we do, because when you really think this through, this is the only chipset, not only, but that makes sense that they could use in this Phone 3. I don't like the 8 Elite. I don't like it. I shouldn't say all. The S25 Ultras that I've had, 3 of them, all of them overheat, right? Now, the only other option I thought they could use is the 8 Elite -1 core that the S25 Edge has. That's been cool as a cucumber, right? But that has one less core than the 8 Elite, right? But the 8S Gen 4 is a flagship CPU that's tuned down. The 8 Elite is tuned for high performance, right? It's tuned to the max. It's probably why Samsung has an issue with them overheating, because Samsung takes that 8 Elite and they overclock it. OnePlus has the OnePlus 13. My OnePlus 13 has not overheated. So it's like Samsung's kind of shooting themselves in the foot, overclocking it just so they can say made for a Galaxy, but they overheat, right? So this 8S Gen 4 brings flagship performance, but it's not fine-tuned for max performance. It's fine-tuned for AI. And if you've been following Nothing, if you've been following eSIMstudios, we reviewed that video Carl Pei put out about a year ago, last July, when we thought the next Nothing flagship phone was coming out, and we found out no, they're going to wait, they're going to hold off, because they want to fine-tune the software. They're going to have a more intuitive AI experience. Well, the 8S Gen 4 is geared for AI, right? So I think this is a perfect choice. Stay tuned. We are going to break down the specs and how it compares to the 8 Elite here in just a few minutes.
Actually, I find these questions just come like over and over again.
Oh, and that reminds me, let me go back to the haters. You're going to see a ton of haters online bitching about this choice. Oh, you didn't choose the best CPU. Oh, how can you consider this a flagship phone if you don't have the best CPU? That's nonsense. Don't believe it. It is total nonsense. Those people have no idea what they're talking about. They think they're tech enthusiasts, but they don't have the capable reasoning skills that we hold here on eSIMstudios and eSIMstudios viewers. This is their only logical choice, right? This is the best choice, in my opinion, that they could have made. But you're going to see people hate on this. Trust me, you will. But you're going to have to bypass all that. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Never win, ultimately.
And it's strange, right? Like, there's so many different categories of products out there. Like, if you think about cars, processors, like, it's kind of like an engine of a car.
Hold up. How many times have I compared a CPU to a car? When I heard this, I think Carl watches our channel. Now, every video I make, I always at the company or the product that I'm talking about. So if I talk about a Samsung S25 Ultra, I'm going to at Samsung in the video. I did a case review for the S25 Edge yesterday, the Thinborn, right? I'm going to at Thinborn so they can be aware that I'm making content about their company. Every Nothing video I make, I always at Carl Pei and I at Nothing. I know he's seen at least one of our videos, and I think the video he did see is where I compare. I've done it numerous times, right? It's not just like I've compared a CPU to an engine or a phone to a car once. I think I've mentioned that maybe 3 or 4 times, but I remember specifically mentioning this CPU for the Nothing Phone 3. I compared it to a car maybe 3 weeks ago. Carl, I know you're watching the channel. Oh, best believe I already added you in the video description of this video, but let's go ahead. You're very sneaky. You're taking my car comparison, but it's okay. I'll give you a pass.
When a
Well,
car
listen to
company
this.
releases a new car, people look at the overall of the car. They might look at the 0 to 100, like how many seconds it takes to accelerate, but I just haven't seen, hey, why don't you have this engine or that engine? Like, what's up with the smartphone industry? Why are people so hung up on the processor? I mean, that's just like in a car, the engine is an important part of the car, but it's also how you build the rest of the car, the aerodynamism of the design, how well the engine plays with the other parts of the components. Same on a smartphone. You also have companies with like really good chips who don't really optimize the software, so it lags or overheats. So it's I don't know. I'm pretty my patience is running pretty thin on this topic. I think one really interesting thing is that we've always like used slightly older chipsets on our flagship phones before. I think when we did the phone 1, the chip we used was like 2 years old, and the phone 2, the chip was maybe 1.5 years old.
Right.
But this time we're going to use a very, very new chip from this year, the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's the first time we're using a current year chipset. Yeah, I mean we never started this company to be like known for mid-range phones. We saw that the tech industry got really boring, and also that these personal computing devices that used to help us be more creative are no longer serving that purpose. Like if you think about the personal computing revolution, that allowed so many regular people to use a computer, whereas in the past the computers were only available for government or big businesses. So that really enhanced people's creativity. If you have an idea, you can use a personal computer to create the idea into reality. The main computer today is a smartphone, but the smartphone is just not a creativity tool. It's just a box that keeps us kind of addicted to algorithms. Actually, we're creating content right now for those algorithms.
Exactly.
But so the tech industry got boring, and the tools weren't helping us be more creative. So that's what we're all about. Like, how can we fix this? Because we think that ultimately creativity is a great skill. It's not just about art or design. It's about solving problems, and that's what humans are uniquely good at. So we have all these types of products. So we want to create products in different price categories so that more different types of consumers can take part of this. With the flagship line, it's about putting our latest and greatest ideas out there. And then for our mid-price line, it's about making it more accessible to a wider audience and having a well-balanced experience. Yeah.
So that basically, what he discusses there is making it a all-around flagship experience. So it's not like you can't have look, again, you're going to get a lot of hate on this CPU, but they're not interested in kind of taking the approach Google is, but I think in a more flashy and or intuitive process, right? Or with a final product, right? So Google has been widely criticized for not having the best CPUs. Now, this 8S Gen 4 that's going to be in the Nothing Phone 3 is going to blow away the upcoming Pixel 10 Tensor G5. It's not even going to be close. I'll just put it out there. But they're more interested in a all-round good product, right? A good product. It's going to take really good photos. You're not going to have any problems gaming. It's a flagship CPU. You're going to have tons of RAM. You're going to have this new AI space, essential space. Just an all-round good product. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to put out there. A product that you can be enthusiastic about, right? Purchasing and using. And that's exactly what he entailed right there.
I guess the contrary would also be true. Like, if a company stops making flagship phones, then probably not doing as well. But I think more than the risk, it's about like affording to build it. Like, the cheaper phones, they cost less to develop because they're easier. The more expensive phones, the flagship phones, they cost way more to develop and engineer. So it's about having the resources available to really take a stab at showcasing the full extent of our vision based on our current capabilities. Are we supposed to announce it now, or?
You can say no.
Okay, so then just stay tuned. It's gonna be, I think the commenters are pretty switched on. Like, I was surprised.
Yeah, I think even from the first tease, where it's like the 3, people have noticed some.
I remember I asked the team, like, hey, why is this teaser, this Pokemon?
Okay, so get this. So here, we're winding down to the end of the video, but we're gonna I think this is where the last part is where he talks about the leaks, the Nothing Phone 3 leaks, right? There's been discussion online about they're doing away with the glyph lights, like the Nothing Phone 3A, 3A Pro, 2A, and the Phone 2 and the Phone 1, where the glyphs on the back. But they keep on teasing this dot matrix that you see on the screen, this customizable dot matrix that's going to have some sort of 1,000 AMOLED dots on the back. Like, they keep on teasing it, right? And then we got that leak of the Nothing Phone 3 that came out with no lights And we're like, what the hell is this? There's no glyph lights, which we knew, but there's no dot matrix. What's going on? Well, this is where we get a little hint of what the Nothing Phone 3 will entail.
Tease it black and white, and why are the dots square instead of round? I thought they made a mistake, so I was really angry. But then they said, oh, it's because we want to tease this new thing. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very, like, they really thought about the details.
Yeah, it's quite impressive actually how much can be taken from that one early asset of some Pokemon.
Yeah, so if we, like, the glyph interface was a very unique part of our DNA. When we designed the Phone 1, we were like, hey, how do we design something that, first of all, like 10 meters away, you can tell that it's a Phone 1. And then secondly, if you just look at it for 3 seconds, you're able to sketch a defining part of it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're not going to change that philosophy. So if the glyph interface is not going to be around on the flagship phone, then we should have something else that fulfills those criteria.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think everyone knows that we were never going to kill it and go into a, a completely bald and boring back to a phone like every other manufacturer. So people know what we're all about.
You heard it there first. So they're not just going to have some regular back to their phone. So that tells us that that leak that came out of that Nothing Phone 3, that, where do I have that picture here? I thought I have it saved. You know, the Nothing Phone 3 design, that leak that came out the other day. There was no glyphs, obviously, but there were no dot matrix. Well, it sounds like that leak that came out is not entirely true, because I think I accidentally edited out a part that I wanted to keep in there, because Carl gets asked about that, what's up with that leak that came out last week. And Carl said, I think that was a prototype. So it sounds like, and the head of their YouTube channel, who was the host of that podcast or that show, said, I think fans can expect us not to have some just basic, boring back of a phone. So it sounds like it will be included, that dot matrix, the design where you can customize the back. It sounds like that's basically going to be on the Phone 3. So maybe that leak that came out was not entirely true. Maybe that camera array, the camera setup is true, but below that is where the dot matrix will be. So it does sound like there will be a customizable dot matrix on the back, because they keep on teasing it, like on Twitter. So a lot of insight there. So you get the some news out of this. So we're going to get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, which we'll pull up the specs right now, and we will get a dot matrix design of some sort on the back, where that's their classic design, a staple of the company, where you can differentiate a nothing phone and a non-nothing phone, right? So let's pull up the 8S Gen 4, since this is the CPU that they are going to use. Let's check this out here. So I pulled up Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 versus Snapdragon 8 Elite. And the 8 Elite is the 8 core. This is not the same version that's in the S25 Edge. This is the same version this is not the version you will find in the Samsung Galaxy. That one's overclocked. Again, it's probably why it overheats. But this is the same 8 Elite that 8 Elite that you will find in the OnePlus 13, right? So we'll do the 8S Gen 4, which is in the Nothing Phone 3, versus the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is in the OnePlus 13. We'll just say that, right? So here are some of the specs, and I'll put a link. I don't have a link now, but when this is over, I'll put this same link that we're looking at. I'll put this link in the website, in the description box below of this video. So here you have CPU performance. You can see single and multi-core processor testing, and then GPU performance, battery life, and nano review score, since this is a nano review website. So you can tell right off the bat, CPU performance, gaming performance, and or GPU performance, it's not as maxed out as the 8 Elite, but it's certainly not far behind. Again, remember, this 8S, the S version, is a more tuned down, but tuned towards AI, not towards performance, which I, for one, am actually glad they did not choose the 8 Elite. I actually don't like the 8 Elite this year. Now, I shouldn't say that. I don't like the Samsung version of the 8 Elite. They should have gone with the 7-core 8 Elite in all their Galaxy phones, but whatever, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about this 8S Gen 4. So here are some key differences. Now, the Pro of the 8S Gen 4, higher CPU frequency by 5%, And then you get a lot more pros of the 8 Elite because it's just more raw performance, right? Let's go down here. So the Antutu scores, I know everybody wants to see benchmarking scores, even though it doesn't tell the whole story. It just tells the max performance. You get a Antutu score with the 8 Elite with 2.7 million points, and the 8S Gen 4 with a 2.12 million. Now let's go to Geekbench, since this is the I think this is the more common benchmark application, more widely used, right? So with Geekbench, a single core score with the 8S Gen 4 single core, you get 2154. And with the 8 Elite, and let me just add here, I've never actually, I think I've only gotten past the 3,000 mark with an 8 Elite maybe one time, and that was with the OnePlus 13. But it says here the 8 Elite can max out single core score with 3155. So you have 3155 single core versus 2154 single core for the 8S Gen 4 for the Nothing Phone 3. And then you move over to the right, multi-core score. For the Nothing Phone 3's 8S Gen 4, you get a score of 6880. And then with the 8 Elite, you get a multi-core score of 9723. Certainly not shabby. I know when you compare the 8S Gen 4 versus the 8 Elite, the numbers look considerably smaller. But when you actually compare the 8S Gen 4 to other phones, they're actually pretty good scores, right? It's up there. This can be considered a it is considered a flagship CPU. It's just more tuned for AI. And Carl did mention that the essential space on the Nothing Phone 3 is going to be a more robust essential space, basically, for the Phone 3 compared to the 3A and the 3A Pro. It's going to have that button on there. But he also said that the essential space is not like fully developed, right? It's not like a final product yet. He said it will continually get better and better and better, but you will see a more robust essential space on this Phone 3. Here's the compute score with the GPU. 8S Gen 4 scores 18,500 points, and the 8 Elite scores 24,100 points on the compute GPU score. 3D Mark, the 8S Gen 4 was not tested, but the 8 Elite was. But let's get down to some specifications, shall we? Why is this damn ad in the middle of my specs? The freak. Stop seeing this ad. Not interested. Okay. Damn it. Why is it right in the middle? Can y'all see that? Oh my god. Here we go. Specifications. You get, so full list of, so which one is which here? So the one on the left is the 8S Gen 4. The one on the right is the 8 Elite. So first thing I noticed right off the bat, the 8 Elite has those Orion cores. That's what gives it the super boost, performance boost. The 8S Gen 4 does not have Orion cores. The Orion cores are the same cores that they take, custom design cores from Qualcomm that they take off of their PC chip, and they sort of implement that into a mobile chip. But the 8S Gen 4 does not have the Orion cores, which is okay. You have one Cortex X4, you have three Cortex you have one Cortex X4 in 7 Cortex A720 cores. It is an 8-core CPU, max frequency 3200 megahertz. Okay, so here's a big difference. Probably won't be able to tell, but just on paper, the 8S Gen 4 is on a 4 nanometer node, and the 8 Elite with those Orion cores are on the 3 nanometer node, right? So The 8S Gen 4, 4 nanometer, 8 Elite, 3 nanometer. The GPU has an Adreno 825 in the 8S and an 830 in the 8 Elite. Let's see here. What else can we... everything else relatively the same. LPDDR5X RAM. Let's see here. I wonder what modem they're going to put in here. Let's see. We'll look that up here in a second. So it'll be UFS 4.0. Blah, blah, blah. Modem. It does not say what modem. We're going to look up a device or two with this 8S Gen 4 because it has been put in a couple of devices already. I want to see what modem they have in here because I want to know if this Nothing Phone 3 is going to get the new T-Mobile network because that will directly affect me and most of you out watching this. The 8 Elite has that X80. That's the badass modem here that gets phenomenal speeds. Let's see here. So download speeds, it looks like it's not going to be the same modem. Download speeds up to 4,200 or 4.2 gigs of download speed, while the 8 Elite gets up to 10 gigs download speeds. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. We'll check it in just a second. The new Snapdragon 8 Elite that gets that new T-Mobile network has the Snapdragon X80 modem. I think what we're going to find out here in a second, my guess is that Qualcomm has the previous flagship generation, the Snapdragon X75 modem. I think that's put in the 8S Gen 4, which will be in the Nothing Phone 3. Now, not a slouch because it still gets, if the 8S Gen 4 has the previous flagship modem, this Snapdragon X75, that still picks up T-Mobile's new network because that's what's in the previous years of flagship devices like the S24 series, S24 Ultra. That X75 modem still gets T-Mobile's network. We'll look here in just a second. Still going to get Wi-Fi 7. Still going to get Bluetooth 6.0. Let's see. It's actually the newer CPU. It's actually newer than the 8 Elite because you can see here when it was announced and or released. The 8 Elite was announced and released last October 2024. This 8S Gen 4 was just released a couple months ago. So it's a brand new CPU. Let's see. I wonder if I can go here. If I don't find this here, what modem it has, should tell us what modem it has. The Qualcomm website. Let's see. Modem. So it has the Cairo chipset cores. So it does have a more advanced core than just basic cores. It's got the Orion is the best cores that Qualcomm produces, but the Cairo is not far behind. So this is the latest. This is the last CPU Qualcomm just put out. So it's Qualcomm's latest and greatest flagship. Now I want to know what modem this has. Here we go. Let's see. The Snapdragon 5G modem delivers outstanding. Okay, yes, but I want to know which one. It's gotta be. It has to. It has to pick up T-Mobile's new network. Let's see. It's got to be this year or last year's flagship modem. Which one is it? It doesn't. It's not giving us specifics, is it? I guess I can do an good old Google search. Come on now. Cellular modem. Doesn't say, does it? It just says Snapdragon 5G modem. I wonder if that's because they weren't entirely sure what modem to pair with it at the time they put this out. I don't know. Let's find out. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to. What does this say? Snapdragon. Those are old. Those are old. Let's do this. Let's go to Google. And let's do this. Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 modem. What modem we got here? X75. Here we go. Good news. The new chip comes with an integrated Snapdragon X75 modem, 5G, with theoretical speeds of up to 4 gig download speeds. It only supports sub-6 5G network or spectrum. That's okay, because that's mostly what T-Mobile uses. That was one thing. I'm glad I just saw this. But good news is it will support T-Mobile's new ultra-fast true 5G network. So that means my signal and speeds should be top-notch, even here in the old dead spot. That's crucial. I'm glad to see that. Now, it should work with Verizon, although Verizon's main spectrum is millimeter wave, but they have included sub-6 spectrum as well. Now, T-Mobile and AT&T, their networks are basically based on sub-6. So it looks like this will work perfectly fine for T-Mobile and AT&T and even Verizon. Even though it doesn't support millimeter wave, you will still be able to pick up 4G and 5G spectrum from, if you're a Verizon user or Verizon MVNO, it should work across the board. Now, it'll probably work a little better. It'll work the best on T-Mobile and or T-Mobile networks. Metro, Mint Mobile, all that stuff. And it'll also work phenomenal on AT&T. And then lastly, coming up from behind is Verizon. So if you're potentially going to get the Nothing Phone 3, it works best on T-Mobile. It works good on AT&T. And it will work on Verizon, although, again, this X75 modem only supports sub-6. So millimeter wave 5G will not support. But as I mentioned, Verizon has sub-6. An upgraded version of the X70. Sweet. Okay, that's good news. Man, I'm happy to see that. So, I am going to put a link to the video that we reviewed. I'm going to put a link to the Snapdragon comparison, the 8 Elite versus the 8S Gen 4. And let's see, does the Nothing Phone 3 have a GSM Arena page? That's 3A. I need 3. Not yet. Not yet. That's all right. Now, is there anything else going on in the news? I'm trying to think. I thought I saw something. They're also coming out with a headphone. I'm not big on headphones, but if you're interested, they'll certainly have them. They look, or it sounds like they're going to be pretty cool. Did I miss anything on the CPU? Yeah. No, I did not. Okay. Now, there was some Pixel news that I just briefly saw right before I went live. So let me double check here and see. Pixel. Still using my Pixel almost a year later. Let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. Hang on, let me open the store. Damn, now I can't find it. Oh, they're also releasing the Headphone 1, the Nothing Headphone 1, but they're going to release it with new technology where it's actually going to have there's a brand new technology coming out that you're going to see implemented across earbuds and headphones, where you know how you obviously connect these via Bluetooth, right? Well, there's a new technology that Qualcomm is coming out with that actually transmits connection and audio via Wi-Fi. So if you're connected, if you have two devices that are connected on the same network, Wi-Fi network, your phone and let's say some headphones, this new technology that Nothing's going to put in their phone and their headphones is going to allow for premium audio quality and speeds transferred wirelessly via Wi-Fi network instead of Bluetooth. And actually, it might use both at the same time, but the majority of the transmission will be via Wi-Fi. So that will be released as well. And I can't find my Pixel news anymore. Let's see. Interesting. All right, well, I guess that'll do it. Just wanted to get this Nothing news out there to wrap this up. Not much else going on in the tech world, but oh, there's something else real quick. Maybe I'll preview this for tomorrow. How much time we got? Yeah, we're almost done. So check this out. The OnePlus, the new OnePlus 15, they're skipping the 14. 14 is an unlucky number in the Asia world, Asia market. It's kind of like how 13 is an unlucky number here in the US. You know, some hotels don't have, in the elevators, they don't have the floor number 13. Well, it's like 14 for Asia. So instead of we're currently on OnePlus 13. The next version obviously would be OnePlus 14, but they're skipping that because 14 is an unlucky number. So OnePlus 15. OnePlus 15, they're going to change the design. It appears they're going to use the same design that's on the OnePlus 13S and OnePlus 13T, the smaller version. Apparently, they're going to use that same design that's on these smaller OnePluses for their flagship model, the OnePlus 15. It's going to have squared design. It's going to finally have a flat front and a flat back, similar to the OnePlus 13R, except the round camera array, the round cameras that they have on the back, is going to be shaped like in a rectangle, kind of like the OnePlus 13S or OnePlus 13T, the small one. They're just going to make it bigger. That'll be the OnePlus 15. I'll probably do that tomorrow unless anything else comes up. It looks like we're getting a lot of Pixel 10 cases here. It looks to be pretty similar, just maybe a slightly larger camera bump, which I know it's hard to imagine a bigger camera bump, but hopefully most of the cases will fit. I don't know. I know Thinborn, there was maybe that's what it was. Let me see here. Thought I could have sworn I saved something with Thinborn and Google. Let's see, in the Pixel. Here we go. A leaked Pixel 10 Pro case on. So can you use the old cases? That would be cool. We've obtained a case for the unreleased Pixel 10 Pro. To test it out, we put a Pixel 9 Pro into the case. The Pixel 9 Pro fits, but there are a lot of changes that make it not ideal to swap cases for the two devices. So it looks like Google's going to take an Apple approach, which I don't like to see. Now, I'm not saying they copied Apple or copying Apple's techniques or movements, but the phone, looking at a Pixel 10 to let's say a Pixel 10 Pro to a Pixel 9 Pro, visually they're going to look the same. But somebody put a new Pixel 10 Pro case on a Pixel 9 Pro, and they said it basically fits, but their buttons are slightly changed and or in different spots, so it doesn't make it an ideal fit, meaning probably going to have to buy new cases if you're planning on getting the Pixel 10 series and you have the previous Pixel like us. We got Pixel 9 Pro XL. Well, forget the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Looks like we're going to have to buy Pixel 10 Pro XL cases as well. So not the most ideal, but I expected that. So it kind of is a bummer, but whatever. I was gonna buy new cases anyways, so what do I care? But if you plan to carry over some cases from your following Pixel for the previous year, it looks like you can get away with it, but it won't be a perfect fit. So that'll do it for me and eSIMstudios. I do appreciate the time. If you caught this live stream in the middle or somewhere where you did not get the full story, I encourage you to hit the replay, because we talked about some important information, some key information that was in that video that we just reviewed. So hit the replay, and I do appreciate the time. Please take care, and as always, I will see y'all tomorrow. I have more case reviews coming out. Speaking of the Pixel 9 Pro XL, I got these cases. Oh, we're going to do another giveaway. Hang on. So I have Crave cases for Pixels. If you're a Pixel owner, I have reviews, and then we're going to do a Crave case giveaway for Pixel. We'll probably do this tomorrow. How about we do the case giveaway tomorrow? And I'll promote it and put a community post out just to remind everybody to join me tomorrow. And I'll go ahead and schedule it right now for tomorrow. And then I have cases. I have S25 Ultra cases as well. And if anybody has the S25 Edge, I have a giveaway for that as well. So join us tomorrow, and we'll do case giveaway tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow's episode. We'll do giveaways, and I'll get them out to y'all free of charge. So appreciate the time, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.